The cost of living, many say, has been on the rise. Consistently in the past 6 months, many say never more than this have they seen it before in Nigeria's history. And today we'll focus on food items. What's happening in your side of town? What's happening with you? Are you able to cope? Is the inflation as astronomical as some say it is? All this and more we'll be talking about on the show today. It's Weekend Deal, your favorite breakfast show. My name is Thelma Obazi, and I thank you immensely for keeping our company. Patience and Louis, the glamorous patience.
Oh, goodness. So when a glamorous Thelma calls you glamorous, you know what I mean? Thelma, you look beautiful.
Amazing, you too,
yeah,
my darling.
thank you. Indeed, the times are interesting, and the rise in the cost of living is one factor that is affecting the quality of lives of Nigerians. I mean, this particular time is marked by a significant increase in the prices of goods and services. I mean, hitherto, condiments, foodstuff that we used to refer to as common are no longer common because the prices have shot up. Things are expensive, the challenge is real. And now there's so many factors that can lead to this, from the exchange rate, inflation, cost of production, government policies, and so many other factors. But no matter the factor that's responsible, it is what it is. How do we navigate these very expensive waters so that the waves do not choke us? How do we survive? That is a question we're asking today. It is. Have I told you? No, I haven't. It is Weekend Deal, your favorite weekend show. Coming to you from the network service of the NTA. We are always excited each time you keep our company. Like Tama asked you, what's going on in your own area? How are you surviving? Please join this conversation. You will make our show more special. My name is Patience Eloy Abba.
The rising cost of living in Nigeria today is no more hidden but obvious. As the inflation rate is soaring, food prices are skyrocketing, and Nigerians are struggling hard to make ends meet.
If in my own time is like this, how will it be in the times of my own children? Things are getting worse every day.
Before, a plate of food here is 500 naira. Now it's 2,500 naira. Totally, honestly, we can't understand.
How much more can Nigerians take this?
Nigeria is not an exception. There is cost of living crisis, and this cost of living crisis is affecting each and every household worldwide. But the one that is affecting Nigerians today is an extra cost of living crisis as a result of two reasons. One, there was subsidy regime, and this time there was no subsidy regime, and Nigerians are paying higher on everything they consume, especially when you speak about the multiplier on general price level.
The current inflation rate stands at 18.6%, with food prices increasing by 22% in just 1 year. The average Nigerian is working hard, but their wages are not keeping pace with the rising costs.
One is a floating of exchange rate. Second is adjustment of monetary policy rate. These are very significant as far as general price level is concerned. So government need to carefully speak to the Central Bank of Nigeria to stop increasing the cost associated with the monetary policy rate. The other one is also government has to also carefully make sure that the PMS importation is reduced to barest minimum, where local production has to take over.
The high cost of living is not only affecting food security, but also access to basic necessities such as shelter, education, and healthcare. Private schools are becoming unaffordable and public schools overcrowded and underfunded.
If you are to eat, make sure you eat relative to your income. If you must get education, don't put on emphasis that you must go into commercial university where you pay high. Don't push yourself that you must go to expensive commercial education. If you are to maintain your health too, don't push yourself that you must go to most advanced hospital where they charge you extra for the name.
The cost of living in Nigeria is unsustainable. Urgent economic reforms is needed. Investment in education, healthcare, and policies that protect the vulnerable. The future of Nigeria depends on it.
You cannot have growth in figures and it is not translating to the population. And that is why if you are to succeed in trying to put straight to the wall that you have prosperity recorded in the economy, at least greater number above 60% of Nigerians must have a taste of that prosperity before it is acknowledged, before it is translated to our development and growth process.
On Weekend Deal today, our focus is cost of living in Nigeria.
Yes, our focus today is on the cost of living with special mention of food, because we need to eat to live, right? We need to eat well to be able to talk with you today, and you need to eat well too to understand and comprehend the information that we are passing on. That's why it's important that you be a part of our show today and get ready. Start sending your messages, telling us about your experiences in different parts of our country. We are going to Sokoto, where the story there, according to Martha, is akin to what Patience shared earlier, that some food items moved though, they leapt from 500 to 5,000. Martha, I know there's more in this package from Sokoto. Please share.
500 naira. Something that you can even buy it 100 naira or 50 naira before. But now 500 naira. I just bought it now. Like meat now is very cost, as you can see. Like this tail now is 4.5. Relate to like last 2 weeks or last, you can buy it at 3.5, but now 4.5. Dry pepper. Last week I buy it like 5,000. But today when I asked, that's why I buy it. It's 8,000 naira.
Okay, this rice I just bought 1 plate. Actually, I should have bought like 3 or more plates. But because of how costly.
Last week, it's 9,500. Now it's 11,500 to 12,000. Red oil, before 6,500. Now 7,500 to 8,000. You add 2,000 to 1,500. Bottle before is 1,450. Now it's 1,600 naira. You add 150 for groundnut oil. For red oil, before 900. Now it's 1,200 naira. You add 200 naira for 300 naira for both.
I was surprised that all the prices has gone up exorbitantly. For example, like maize flour, I bought 1,001 last month, but now it's 1,450. Like beans, the price is 4,700 compared to last time I bought it 4,300.
They said dry fish, but last time we said we buy plenty fish for day, but now everything don't increase. But nobody they buy plenty fish to come sell for market because everything don't increase. Just we maintain. See my table now.
That's here we are suffering for this time. Everything that we enter market, even though we carry how much, nobody should buy anything. Do you understand? So I don't know how I will take start the thing myself. I want to buy rice and see how the thing they tell me say about 5,000.
Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
Every week the prices are just going up. Now the last time I think rice was about 2,000, 3,000. Now it's 4,500. You can imagine. The foreign one is even 5,000. Gari was 1,500. Now gari is more than 3,000. Even beans that was selling about 1,800, 2,000 is now almost 5,000 per plate. So now people have to prioritize. So because of how things are costly, you can't just buy everything.
Before, I used to cook stew every Sunday, but now gara, you know gara. With peppers, even the pepper is cost now. So we are just managing. Like before, we can go out, buy ice cream. But now all of these things, they are not necessity now. We are just managing our life.
According to my money, my sister, I will buy small to feed my children. What do you want me to do? If you carry 10,000 enter inside market, it's not up to what you want. You will ask them, did they steal my money? No. Things are costly, very, very costly. Only God will help us.
The money no day. Even though I carry money like before, you know, when even buy anything like that, I'll just manage. Not be say I'll buy something that I will feel enjoy myself. I'll just manage my life.
And with the present market situation, you have to consider priority now. You have to buy that is more pressing to more important. You don't look after luxury now. You look at necessity. And if it's affordable. If it's not affordable, you avoid it.
Okay, welcome back to the studios today. It's all about the cost of living, and I know you have your personal experiences. Now, joining the conversation with their experiences, their wealth of knowledge, our guest. And it's an honor for me to introduce our first guest, a very beautiful lady. She is Mrs. Mercy Adelubu. She is an educationalist and a farmer. Let's see her profile.
Patient just couldn't hold back. She's been chatting with her to get to know more how she's combining education, being an educationist, and farming. Seasonal farmer, you said?
Yes.
Welcome to Weekend Deal.
Thank you.
We have another big fish. Big Fish is in the studio today, who is combining two amazing things that make our country good and strong.
True.
We meet, greet, and make very welcome to our program today Professor Paul Onamche. Of course, Prof, you know what it means. He is from the academia, but at this point, he's a member of the National Assembly representing Enugu East, Isilzo Federal Constituency. Let's see his profile.
You're welcome to the Weekend Studios.
Thank you so much.
I'm told to go to Ibadan now.
Okay.
Because to talk about how food, communal living, how we eat together, and how this aggressive and consistent increase in price of food items has either impacted that positively or negatively. Ibadan, you did the research. Please share with us.
From the preparation of meals to the communal sharing of dishes, food is an integral part of the fabric of Nigerian society and an important part of the cultural heritage of the country. Currently, food prices are at the highest level, and many traders, consumers and producers across the food supply chain are lamenting the surge of food prices. As a matter of fact, the global food market has witnessed price changes with resultant effects on farmers, producers, and consumers. Survey at the Bodija market in Ibadan, Oyo State, revealed that increase in prices of food items affect all the classes of food consumed almost on daily basis. As a result, Nigerians have to spend more to get food and key ingredients.
We are selling Congo of rice now 2.6, foreign, Nigeria 2.5, long green 3,000, 2.8, Bende Gari is 1.7, Yoruba Gari is 1,300, and it's not like this before.
Last week we are selling crayfish 2,000, but now it's 4,000. Obono we are selling 3,000, 5,000, now it's 15,000. Egusi 2,002, 2,003, but now it's 3,000.
The increasing cost of food in Nigeria has significantly affected the living standards of ordinary citizens, and this has become a source of concern.
You can't finish your list. You only prioritize what you need most. See me now, I have two bags to buy, but I can only afford this. This money I had can only go for this.
Beans is too expensive. It's now 4-5. My husband like beans. He like yam. So, but for now, we don't able to buy those things now. So we go for maybe a gari to cook eba.
Essential food items and ingredients like tomatoes, pepper, and crayfish has gone beyond the reach of the common man. How then are the people coping with the continuous increase in food prices?
I try to regulate myself. Now, when I say that the price of control and goes up, then I make sure that I buy the one that my money can buy.
As an individual, I go and budget according to my own way.
What can be done to arrest the rising cost of food items in the market?
Government has to take care of security because the security is not conducive for the farmers. They have to look into the implements, the chemicals that the farmers are using to produce these farm products. Also, the transportation is so costly now to move products from farm to the town. All these are contributing to food scarcity in Nigeria.
Many are of the opinion that government needs to do more in the area of stabilizing the naira, ensuring adequate security for farmers so that they can go back to the farms, as well as promoting agricultural cultivation across the states in order to guarantee abundance of food in the country.
Farming is the way to go. And I just want to quickly remind you that our program is interactive. We'd love to hear from you.
Send your messages in, ideas. Let's see. How can we move forward? Our second break beckons. Don't go away.
Thank you so much. We asked you to join in the conversation, and you're doing exactly that. And we appreciate. Let me take one or two messages first. Hi, Weekend Deal. The main reason for continuing rise in prices daily is because of the removal of petroleum subsidy. That is somebody's own reasoning. It says, we are suffering this country seriously, and the government should do something about it. Everybody knows agriculture, but we need security. Imagine 3 to 5 days without food. It's not cool at all. Haba, government should do something. I have a lot to say, but let me stop here. Please give us security to go back to farm. Nigerians are writing in. And okay, my name is Minat from Kogi State. I am begging you in the name of God, give us assistance in the area of farming. The messages are coming in, and honestly, we do appreciate you. Make our conversation richer. So I'll go back to Prof. Prof, we are talking real life here. What should happen? How do we stabilize prices? Or as much of even if not bring it all the way down, so that, because it goes up every day. What do we do? Nigerians are asking questions.
Well, I think agriculture should also be sensitized. But also, I will also agree with based on that, the shock of fuel increase, removal of subsidy has not actually abated. The society, and also the devaluation of Naira is also another one. The inflation is very, very high in the country. All this compounds our production of goods and services. Because if people suddenly found out that the salary is no longer salaries, it's no longer a living wage, it's no longer about feeding them. Why the cost of living were going higher? Why the cost of housing were going higher? You don't have so much houses. I mean, you will go to agriculture if you can obtain loan. So you need to sensitize that. You will also live better when you can pay for your house rent. If you also transport yourself, all these things aggregates are joined together. What we'll call it, you will look at it in a whole. That factors of production has also grown higher. The goods and services also is not in the, both of them go hand in hand. If the other one is going up, the other one is going up. However, if you check very well with inflationary trend, the Nigerian wages are not going up in the same direction.
Yes, true.
And when you talk of petroleum, you use international standard to gauge the price. But you don't use international standard to also gauge the price of the wages of workers.
I mean.
So these things will always come back to hurt the population. And apart from it, the population increase is still there. So the population is growing, the factors of production costs are growing. For you to feed, you also need to buy tractors if you go into farming. It's not just go to farming.
And mechanized farming.
Yes.
I mean, so longer whole and cutlass.
Yes. Then most of the universities being established, why don't we give it more impetus to establish universities for agriculture and make them produce, show us the result of the research.
You to can't justify their existence.
Yes, you can't just, because also, by and large, the government are also doing well in some areas. Maybe they are not paying, maybe the lecturers, they should pay. But if we compare what people pay in other countries for education and compare what we pay here, you just know that aspect, that there's still some subsidy being produced. So they are doing that, but also ask them that they should also look into those areas. The labor union and others, they're still talking. There should be those cushioning result of inflationary trend, a result of removal of electricity, increase in electricity tariff,
the
fuel itself. So this is
the shockers were all around the place.
So the farmers go to increase in the cost of their farming as a result of transportation, as a result of also the other services they will incur. They are not insulated from what is happening in the society.
They're not insulated from it because
you feel the pressure, you feel the inflation. Tell us, do we have some extraordinary role or some magic we can bring to the fore at this time to support our nation? Because we are known to multitask. Yes. And we are known to carry it with some high level of dignity amidst, all we're going through. What ought we to do now?
Well, like you rightly said, women, they have been playing a lot of important role on cost of living, to reduce the cost of living in their families. I will take a scenario. If you go to our barracks today, there is hardly any barracks in Nigeria that you don't have garden. Most of the officers' wives, they all have garden. And this is to support their husbands and the family to reduce cost of living. Because when you check what they are taking, and then the wife having that small garden there is also assisting the family to reduce the cost, to make the family comfortable.
You talked about even if we don't have land in our compound,
yes, even
there are
and
ingenious ways we can
most of
plant
our
things.
compounds, most of our homes, we have interlock, but it doesn't stop us from having garden. With your interlock, you can still have vegetable in your compound.
How?
There are some. If you want to plant spinach, you can do it on the flower pots. And then the same caps we use to decorate our houses, you can create out a little garden with caps. Get your soil. You don't need too much soil. These vegetables don't need deep soil. They are so you can still have garden in your compound with your interlock.
Okay.
We have to be diligent about that.
Yes.
I can see patients already thinking, I'm going to
you know me now. I will.
And I'll be inspired by
Yeah, you can grow yam with interlock in your compound.
I mean, anything to
Can
bring
grow
down
yam.
the cost.
Still in the flower pots as well?
No, you use sack.
Oh, sack.
But you just use caps to separate it so that you demarcate. You know, this is your yam section. And it has nothing. You can move it. It's easy to maintain. You don't have to get hoe to start weeding. It's fun. You will love it.
Not, if I would love it even more when I'm not going to the market. It would be so nice to have that 7,000 for one tuber or 8,000 for one tuber. We apply it somewhere else.
Somewhere, I mean, and no wonder the First Lady of the Federal Republic is encouraging women to go into gardening. She knows exactly what she's talking about. Thank you, First Lady, for that inspiration. Now, your messages are coming in. As somebody said, I want to agree with the Honorable Member, what he said. He listed a whole lot. He said, number one, insecurity, cost of transportation, poor road network, and then a lot of people have lost interest in farming because of these things. My name is Tedious Supreme Court Karu. Okay, and the government should start encouraging establishing youth corpers and graduating agri students from higher institutions and technical colleges in going to agriculture. Provide a secured farming land and building agro-processing plant for farming input. That somebody said that's the way forward.
Maybe I ask you to hold your thoughts a little bit and your fingers, pretty fingers. We're going to Prof State. Prof.
No, that's very good.
Very good, right?
Yeah.
Let's go see what's happening there, because we're being told that there's an impact on, women now. We multitask, but we like to look good too, do your hair, with chains, braids, this, that, even to wash it, it relaxes us. We're going to Enugu where we hear that because of the constant or consistent cost of life, cost of living, it's impacting beauty therapy and beauty tips. Enugu, is that right? Please, let's see what you have.
In a typical gathering of women in Enugu nowadays, it is common to spot many adorning low-cut hair. This paradigm shift has become a coping mechanism for the ladies in the face of the prevailing economic realities.
The way things are getting high is affecting us in every ramification of our business. Both water, the attachment, the rent, the electricity.
The attachment is quite expensive. It's like triple the price now. So, and it's affecting women now. Most of them have cut their hair.
Now when you go to salon to make your hair, you are looking at spending over 20,000 naira to make a hair that doesn't last more than 6 weeks.
Before now, this beauty line was the busiest hair braiding place in Ogbete main market, Enugu. Today, however, low patronage has forced the braiders and stylists to become instant wig makers.
Some of my customers, they already cut their hair, some tinted their hair, some of them went having their natural dread just like mine. If we were to be then, I will always be busy. My apprentice, everybody is busy. We are working. I wasn't regretting the fact that I was a stylist.
Since low cut has become a trending alternative here, some barbers now specialize in ladies' cuts.
This is my new hair now. How do I look?
I tend to take my time, study the structure of the person's head, study the textures. Women has their own specific curve, specific cuts, the way it is styled. It is basically very easy for me to give a woman a beautiful cut that is feminine.
Incidentally, one of the regular customers of this barber's shop is a salonist herself, who sells attachments, wigs, and other hair accessories.
Like, I'm enjoying it, and I always advertise it to people, cut your hair. I've converted most of my customers to be cutting their hair. Even if you say you want to drain your natural hair, you still have to be weaving it all the time, maintaining it and all that. But when you cut your hair, it's very free. It will be cheaper for you to maintain. Low cut is versatile. I can always change my look. I'm on low cut now with my low cut, but within a second, I can just give another look. You can see now. It's always easy. People don't even know that I was on low cut before. You can see. You can always just change your look.
It is everything gain to have low cut. If I feel like looking different as a woman, I can easily wear my wig. So today everybody is accepting low cut as a fashion statement. My husband is cool with the haircut. Each day I dress to go out, I must get a compliment. That rarely came before then. He would just say, "You look good, simple, smart."
If some of my customers and some ladies out there who has cut their hair and people who always do normal weaving and work naturally, if they can be able to be getting like 3 or 4 wigs, so they can be changing it, maybe different colors of it.
Hair is the beauty of every woman. If I cut my hair, I don't know what I will look like. You can see I'm wearing wig. I prefer making wig now. You can use it as much as you want. My fellow women, if you can afford to buy 2 or 3 weave-ons and wig them, to be changing them.
So that last video, I'm laughing because that's typical me. As I'm getting into my car, it's going off. So I'm driving, I think, who's that man driving Patience's car? Ah, with long hair. Why is the man driving a car? It's me, oh. I'm just saying it now, it's me.
I saw it live. When I sat beside you, you got transformed. But still very beautiful.
Beautiful. When I removed the wig. Yes. Okay, so your messages are coming in, and then a whole lot. Again, I say thank you. Prof, you were saying something about, okay, so somebody said, oh goodness, a whole lot of suggestion here, open the borders, agro-allied industries, a whole lot of Nigerians are writing in. Please, and one even wrote, "I am so worried. I don't know what tomorrow holds, and a hungry nation is an angry nation." Please, just speak to that person.
I think I will say that the government is not mindful of this. Okay. I will also give that, because a couple of days they have just adopted a policy of removing tariffs on food imports for a period of 150 days. I believe in a short term that would do a lot of good if the custom follows through to make sure that food comes. It will stabilize a bit of the cost, but over a long term, it will also impact on farmers. So that short window, I don't think it will do too bad, because it's getting what it shows that the cost, the agricultural goods in the country is not enough. So that will also a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit. That will also maybe alleviate the suffering of the people in the short term. But over long term, I will also look at this in this way. We have over 81 agric institutes in Nigeria.
Okay. Over 81.
81.
Yeah. Also, you just mentioned that Ibadan has 18. I congratulate people from NIFA and other, because there have been these palm for palm and all those certain hybrids are coming up there. But it's also a shame to say that the Malaysians took palm fruit from Nigeria and improve on it. And we ourselves in Nigeria has not even improved on the ones we have. Well, today we'll say that, hey, this is Malaysia improves palm, that you can use this. It is a shame on the Agri-Research Institutes for them to also, who ought to have surpassed what they are doing. Then, I also think that some of the Agri-Research Institutes will also go, it enable also partnership PPP, because the 8-hour job activity would not, I think the research section should also change that narrative of 8 to 4 o'clock working habits, and make sure that you also increase the output for the country, because the country needs to also have the benefits. They deserve the benefits of the sponsorship of those research institutes. Having said that, I will also think that the government needs to look into building more agricultural universities where they are not. Because no matter how you say it, the more the people are in agriculture, they feel that it's the better.
Or have we justified the existence of over 80?
No, the research institute. No, it depends on what their focus is. Every research institute has a focus. So those of them that their focus has, you say I praise the people in NIFA and others.
You just got like 2 or 3 out of 80.
Yes. I just said, because you're talking of Ibadan the first time, I said they have 18.
There's university
But you said total, nationwide, we have over 80.
Yeah, well, why I'm telling you this, I'm interested. I just moved a bill for building a University of Agriculture in Enugu State.
Okay.
So I kind of studied this. It's not that I was brought here to here to do.
So you think when the university gets to Enugu, things will be done differently?
There's this not just a perception, but when you get into certain things in Enugu currently, there's something the governor is doing where there's a lot of PPP happening in agriculture. But when you have this, the instinct that people want to develop and do things differently, and also the agri-entrepreneurship will also start trickling in. So these are the things that also we can do. They can also generate.
Oh, indeed. Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much, Prof. We are learning and we keep learning. You know how early in the morning, and then you're hungry, and then you go to that woman, Iya Basira maybe, that smell of natural food, hot, with pepper, and then with little money.
Why do you call her Iya what?
Iya Basira, somebody. They always Iya somebody, but their food, natural. And then you don't have so much money. Sometimes with just 500, you've eaten and you're like, thank God. Are things still the same? NTA Network Center will tell us.
All right.
Food is one of the essentials of life, and accessibility to such is even more paramount in today's world where everyone is busy with different activities. For ease of feeding, especially by those who find cooking time consuming or uninteresting, they resort to roadside or food store sellers, popularly known as buka or mama put. Many of those who visit these joints do so because, aside getting varieties, the pricing is friendly, especially to the lower cadre of the members of the society.
Oh my God, 500.
But with the recent surge in the rise of food prices in the country, can we still say the amount people use to eat at bukas is still the same?
Before, with 100,000, I can buy rice, beans, spaghetti, vegetable, everything. But now with 250,000, I cannot. For the past 2 to 1 month now, I've not been selling beans due to the price of the beans is too expensive, too much.
Beans now, before 6 months ago, we are buying beans, a bag of beans, 120,000, but now we are buying it 340,000. Before we are buying gari, 30,000 naira a bag. Now we are buying 82,000 naira. The same that bag where we are buying 30,000 naira.
This bread before we used to sell it 100 naira, but now it's 300. And this one, before we used to sell it 300, now it's 500. This one, we used to sell it 200, but now it's 500 for one spoon. And this spoon of rice, we used to sell it 100 naira, now it's 500 for one spoon. We used to sell fish before 300, 200, but now fish is 1,000, 1,500.
Before I will use 250, 300 to buy milk. But for now, 1,000 cannot reach me. I have to use like 1,700.
With 300 naira, 400 naira, I'm okay. But now, 1,000 naira is not enough right now.
Due to these recent conditions, especially with about 200% increase in the prices of cooked meals, a lot of people have resorted to alternatives just to hold body and sell together, as the saying goes.
I have to buy akara on the naira, which is only one. You understand? Then I buy bread, 500 naira, which I used to buy before on the naira. So I spend no less than 600 naira easy to manage myself to go to bed because I want to go to bed empty stomach. There is no alternative. If you cannot go and if you just stay without hunger, that's for good citizens. But for others, I don't know. But for me, when I don't have, I will just stay. Look at all my neck now, it's going inside.
With the hikes in food prices, even at the supposed pocket-friendly mama puts or buka as they are fondly called, how does this affect customers' patronage?
They've reduced because, for example, now I'm selling before 500. Now I'm selling 700. They are complaining. And like today, I bought a bag of semo 14,000, which I used to buy 12,000, 12,500. Today I bought it 14,000. Tomorrow night if you go, they will tell you 14,500, 15,000, which is very bad.
Knowing that the positive effects of eating good food cannot be overemphasized, and despite the economic hardship, we should resolve to eating healthy meals, prioritize quality rather than quantity, and be very aware of the dangers of eating meals prepared in an unclean environment, so that while saving costs on food, we will not increase the chances of visiting the hospitals from unsafe and not well prepared meals.
Lagos Network Center, thank you for that insight. You know, even though the times are daunting, they're challenging, it's felt on different levels because of the purchasing power of different people, because of our different levels, you know. When we were watching that feature, all of us in the studio, for the first 10 seconds, we could hardly speak to show, you know, it touched us to the very depth of our hearts. Yes, there are challenges, but we see those who are being impacted more negatively. People are talking about bread has gone up from 100 to 500. We know this loaf has gone from, it's on 2,000 now.
Yes.
2,000 naira.
1,800,
some 2,500. Some 2,500.
Yes,
Yes.
2,500. A loaf of bread.
I would still like my sister here, Mr. Delabu, to let's keep trying to prefer solutions. And one young man there said something that was very touching. He said, the good people, oh, when they are hungry, they'll go to bed, they'll sleep without. That is for the good people. And in other words, we know a group of people who will not be okay with that. Yeah. You know, but let's continue to preach, you know, possibilities and realities, you know. It's tough, but we are undaunted, right? And we are tough people. Okay, butter. I was sharing my experience here recently.
Yes.
You know, it's amazing. For those that plant, you know, if you have a neighbor that plants something, is it possible to share what they don't have? Then what about those gallons of oil, palm oil or groundnut oil, vegetable oil? Is it possible as a woman, you know, woman to woman, can I stretch out to my neighbor? I have oil, 3 gallons. I know that your husband farms yams, or you have yams. So you coming in with, you know, a lorry load of yams yesterday. Can we do something together? It's happened for me.
Of course. It happens and it's possible. With the way things are going, there are certain things we have in our homes in excess and other things we don't have that some other people have. So we can actually approach them. I have enough gari. Can I give you 2 noodles of gari for 1 noodle of rice or a noodle of beans? And then before you know it, you are changing because you don't have the physical cash. It's very possible that the person asking for trade by barter is a farmer. Is a cassava farmer who has plenty of cassava. So the person can afford to switch gari for palm oil or for even tomatoes or provisions to make sure the family have food to eat.
Well, you see, this is where human relationship and having good neighbors come in, because the way we live these days, where people don't even know who is their next door neighbor. Do you know what I'm saying? That's where relationship, you build human relationship that can lead to a situation like this, where we can say, I have salt, do you have Maggie? We need to be each other's neighbors. We need to love up on our neighbors. That's the only way we can
see
actually
where it's
do.
pinching one person,
yes,
see
and
how
then
you
help.
can come in. Even sometimes before they ask.
Yes, before they ask, you can say, okay, this. So we need to actually build relationship with our neighbors, because when it gets down to it, that's the first door you knock before your relatives come. Please, be a good neighbor. Okay, you said you were going to, before she started speaking, you said you were going to say something about, you said something.
No, it's just sharing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
sharing. I remember sometime in the UK when there was an increase in fuel, and there was a when there was this the economy went into recession. Yes. Why the government was trying to maybe give people that has a car has lasted for more than 7 years, they will now change the car and give you some money. Trade it in. There were also this, that when people don't have a good maybe relationship in their house, they will also have in the working environment. People may also, when they are going home, they share their cars. People could also share. Yeah, carpooling. The same thing happens then. But also, we also have a cultural perception. The cultural perception is that when you give, when what you have, you give to your neighbor that don't have.
Yes.
Not trade by barter in that case. But we also have to know that the things are difficult for everybody. Yeah. That this person offering you this, if you have, you can also give back. Not just receiving. However, we would believe that the hand giving is always higher than the hand receiving. Oh, yeah. But we also have to know that now hard times are bound for everyone. But if that doesn't preclude that if you have more, and you have those that you're going to throw away, and also offer the less privileged. That aspect is in every religion, that you offer assistance to people that have not. However, you can always go to the market and you find people in need or the other. There are local markets that people know each other. Yes. You know what they have. You know people that don't have. Even in the market, they can also exchange goods.
Yes.
So these are one form, small form that we can offer assistance, and also life continues to move. Yes. And also people that have more families, they also find that as a means of taking care of those large families that they have. So, and people that has less family can also find it a way to assist the have-nots. So I think it's a very wonderful. It's a good one. Yeah. It's a good one. But we also have to sensitize things in the country to make sure that we encourage more people to go into agripreneurs. Not just substance giving and all that. So as you produce more for other people to have.
So that's where perhaps we'll reach out to you. You need to tell us about what's happening at your level, National Assembly. I know that do we need to rejig our policies? Do we need to incorporate new ones? Are bills being passed that will impact Nigerians in a positive way? Talking about the cost of living in food and other areas. We're going to Kano. What a beautiful state. They are also, they've also sent in their research, talking about their mini doc, about what's happening there with regard to cost of living as it impacts food. Kanu, please share.
No doubt, current economic realities in the country make many people to resort to only food as against other demands. Nigerian workers are among those at the direct receiving end, especially with a fixed amount of money as take-home. Daily increase in prices of items, especially food, brings about total change in the lifestyle of people and introduces fear of survival among many. Before this inflation rate, An average Nigerian worker could use 1/3 of his monthly income to stock his home. Today, the whole pay will sink into food palaver.
Because we don't have a standard price in the business. If you are expecting to buy rice, yesterday we are buying rice maybe a mood 5,300. Today is 5,500. A bag of foreign rice last week sold 80,000. Today is 92,000. So these are the challenges, major challenges we are having.
Price of waina is 50 naira. But as for now, everything has cost. We are both buying a mudu of rice, almost 5,000 naira. Comprise it with the sugar, everything that you are going to spend. Sometimes your money will not come out.
In the office, when most officers will have to take their lunch, most of them could no longer afford the usual nearby dishes from the restaurants.
And you should not expect to tell your staff sorry. You have to look for money and pay them. You have to buy NEPA. Before we are buying NEPA, maybe 19 naira, but now it's 225 per unit. You have to spend about 15 to 20 units a day.
Most Nigerians are not happy with the inflation and the current situation we are living in. How do you manage it? So we manage it as it is, because you cannot live without eating food during your life.
Alternatively, in Kano, there are lots of other supplements adapted as food in the likes of gurasa and awara, which many people opt to, since they are relatively cheap.
We were selling well before. Now, due to inflation, some people cannot afford to buy.
Leaders, they should sympathize with the forest people so that they will reduce the cost of living, because some forest people are suffering.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your messages. They're coming in their numbers. Somebody says, good morning, Weekend Deal. My name is Sule Payos. I reside in Buhari area, Abuja. Due to the high cost of food ravaging the society, I decided to do a small farming on a piece of land in front of my house. I know I didn't consult the owner simply because I didn't know who the owner is. But I got approval from a neighbor who claimed the land is under the care of under him, and he assured me nothing will happen. Having cultivated the land and the crops started producing, things were going well. The owner just came one day. My wife was in labor that day, and I didn't know he just removed everything. And I just want to use the opportunity to appeal to landowner that when you meet crops on your undeveloped land, they should be lenient with the cultivator until she harvests her produce. This really hurts. Thank you so much, ma, sir. With that, we'll go on the break. We'll react to that when we come back. Don't go away.
It's Weekend Deal, the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and this program gives us a global stage. We are seen locally and internationally, and you can contribute from anywhere in the world. We feel the pulse of Nigerians, and the essence of talking together here, reasoning together, is to change the narrative, to give a humane face to every topic we bring to the fore here. Thankfully, we have two people who have contributed immensely to our talk and do today. When Prof leaves here, he'll be pushing things in the National Assembly for us, and Madam will be telling more women how they can farm in their homes and how they can exchange products, you know, to give hope where hitherto there's little or none. Before we went on that break, Madam had some ideas she wanted to share, talking about our students who are churned from tertiary institutions.
Yes, another aspect that we need to look into is providing solution to our students that are graduating every day. We have agric scientists graduating every day into the labor market. There is no provision for them. There is no job. If the government can create factories, processing industries, where these Greek scientists are graduated into in groups for them to be productive, it's going to help. Because most of these Greek scientists end up becoming teachers, classroom teachers, which is not supposed to be. And we really need them in the processing industry because a lot of production is going on.
Well, let me just give a perspective to what you just said. You know, initially I started with sustainable agriculture. In as much as we also will have hunger, we also will have glut. You also know that there's waste also. And I would tie it down to what you just said. I give an instance with somebody who is selling fruits, and the fruits now get to a point that some of them were not sold. There is this idea that you can pack those things and make it, use it to form food for also something like the pig or something like that. I will give you the chain, how it could happen. The fruit that we are unsold can now go into fermentation to feed animals.
Prof, sorry, I don't want to seem like I'm digressing. We're almost ending. You remember that thing from Enugu where the women said that they're all going low cut? I was going to ask you as a man, just to be sure. I don't know. I'm like that. Please, do you like women in low cut or not? Because that's where we are all going.
This one is a different question, by the way.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Cost of living.
I don't think men see it as cost of living. Most people see it as just what the person chose to.
Style, do you like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, do you like low cuts? Okay, let's go there.
It depends on how you wear
it.
You don't just go and cut it haphazardly. You need to make it tidy, make it presentable, and still go with the Peperito style.
Let's do this.
That's why you have a brand to cater for.
Oh my
Our program has come to the peak. We're about to say goodbye. So, ma'am, let me start from you. How will you surmise all we have talked about today?
What do you have to say to Nigerians?
Yeah, first and foremost, we want to still appeal to the government to support farmers because of insecurity, to encourage more people to go into farming, and to mothers at home. We can have gardens in our home to reduce cost of living.
Thank you.
And finally, for federal government to look at our students, agri-scientists that are graduating out of school, to have an organized factory or processing firm where they graduate into.
Okay,
Prof?
thank you. Okay, Prof.
Yeah, I think I also tell our people to have hope in this society. Agri and security is everybody's business. And I also think that you should also be our neighbor's keeper, and we also watch our what happens in society. But in the case of government, I will also say that they should also look into making our agri-education systems better. But also, instead of creating more, because we work for what is happening, create more University of Agriculture and sensitize the students so that they also know that they can also be employer.
The country is depending on them to change the narrative.
Yes, I agree, Honorable, I agree.
Security and agriculture is everybody's business, Nigerians.
Yes.
So go find your space there, carve a niche, and change the narrative. God bless Nigeria. Everyone.
See you tomorrow.